Good morning, everyone. My name is Rohit Raghu, and I am a senior at Cy Falls High School. I envision a world where knowledge and education are universal and part of everyday life. Today, I'd like to share with you all an experience that I had while working on my Eagle Scout project. It all started while I was looking for a project that I had to do to complete my Eagle Scout rank. And I wanted to do a project that would help people in need. And if possible, I would like to do it in my home country of India. Now, during the search, I was directed to Inventors Without Borders, where Mr. Peter Han, the co-founder of that organization, directed me to an NGO in India called My India Empowered. The My India Empowered runs a tribal school in Bombay, India, and in the metropolitan and in Sanjay Gandhi National Forest. However, I found this was just the beginning. Now, through Ritika Arya, the founder of MIE, as you may remember, she gave a talk at the TEDxYouth last year. We developed a list of teaching aids that the school might benefit from. Some of these items included science, math, and language teaching aids, such as physics kits, Legos, Connects, picture books, anatomy physiology kits, and microscopes. And with the help of my scout troop, was able to collect and send about 150 pounds worth of items. So my dad and I spent some time at MIE and handed over some of the items that we collected during our trip to India the summer of 2010. There I met some of the most awesome volunteers and an equally inspirational set of kids. What I learned and experienced there was beyond my wildest imagination, an inspirational experience beyond comparison. The more I learned about MIE, the more I was awestruck by this inspirational model. Now, some things about the forest. The school is in a tribal forest, something akin to a tribal reservation. The tribal people are encouraged to maintain their tribal lifestyle, meaning that they reside in mud huts with no running water or electricity. Typically, contact with the outside world is limited, but some adults do seek employment outside the tribal reservation. On the other hand, the children do not go to school and therefore grow up to be unskilled and illiterate to face the world outside. The voluntary organization, MIE, is run by a group of college students, maybe a few years older than I am. These volunteers give up all their weekends to teach these kids every weekend math and language activities. Now, youngsters of this age have many other interesting pursuits. They teach these kids math and science activities through the combination of demonstration, practice, and play. They do this keeping in mind the cultural sensitivities of the tribal lifestyle, meaning that most of the kids take part in household chores that you and I deem to be insignificant. Another issue is that a lot of parental support is needed for the children to attend the tribal school. This is me and Ritika, the founder of MIE. The school was started in a bamboo shack, covered with tarp to brace the elements. Now, incessant monsoons in Bombay damaged the shack and required the school to be relocated to a mud-floored hut with limited space and little ventilation. This later also doubled as a place of worship. The school operates without running water or electricity, so most of the children's studying is done under candlelight. Now, by tradition, when you enter a place of worship, you must remove your shoes, meaning that everyone walks around barefoot. My friends usually tell me that I look cool in my Boy Scout uniform barefooted. And this is my first inspirational experience. The kids show up every weekend. They show up every weekend with a twinkle in their eye, enthralled by the knowledge that they will be imparted to for that time period, oblivious of the world around them. I was also immensely impressed by the amount of enthusiasm and the quest for knowledge, learning that you and I take for granted. The children are also like little sponges, absorbing every little piece of information that the volunteers impart through them through play and practice. I can still remember the glitter in the children's eyes while watching educational videos or looking through picture books and even writing their ABCs. One image that does fail to leave my mind is that of an 8 or 9-year-old girl who brought her younger sibling to school and sat through all the activities with the baby on her lap. Now, why would someone go through that much trouble if it were not an enjoyable experience? The impact of this venture did not quite dawn on me until I saw it firsthand. Knowledge, albeit in small amounts, imparted through hands-on methods, enables your children to take what they learn and apply it later on. The MIE volunteers empower these children through skills and tools to take the future into their own hands and use it as a need arises. And this is my second inspiration. Now, why would these volunteers do this? The MIE volunteers want to give back to society by making a difference in the world. So how do they go about doing that? The MIE volunteers address disadvantaged children not through handouts, but by addressing skill development for a long-term perspective. The MIE volunteers start their typical day by going through math and language activities. This is hard in itself because many of the tribal children speak a different dialect than those spoken outside the reservation. Some of the older students and the volunteers do serve as interpreters, though. These classes include writing and reading, which is mostly done under candlelight. MIE places a lot of emphasis on learning through the use of educational toys, picture books, and many educational videos. And also building models using the toys given to them by well-wishers. In addition, the children are also exposed to the finer aspects of learning, meaning visits to science museums. I, for one, could only appreciate this when I saw it firsthand. The facilities that you and I take for granted are out of reach for these children because because of social and economic constraints. What the volunteers provide is quite a paradigm shift in the way learning is provided to the disadvantaged. True to its name, My India Empowered is all about empowerment, which is my third inspiration. When I was in Bombay, the school where the classes were held was devastated by heavy monsoons. Now, the tribal people took matters into their own hands and built a school called Masti Ki Pathshala, which roughly translates to school where we have fun. And MIE does not stop at that. They're constantly innovating new ways of teaching in order to improve the ways that they can improve new ways of teaching. MIE's work has not gone unnoticed. They have been covered by many national dailies in India, and Ritik Arya, the founder of MIE, has been the recipient of many national and social innovation awards. These are some of the volunteers in the rain during the monsoon. During the taxi ride to the airport, something felt different. Everything I touched made me realize how lucky I am to be in this position. Now, the taxi ride to the airport felt so much different than on the way to the tribal school. I couldn't help but sit and ponder on how these events can be so influential. Flashbacks of a girl coming to school with her brother, children studying under candlelight, and children walking around barefoot all seem to develop in my mind. I couldn't help but sit and deeply think about how these events could be so life-changing. It made me a true believer that the quest for knowledge is universal, irrespective of what you are, where you are, and what conditions you are in. I'm also inspired by the 20 or so MIE volunteers that have embarked on this noble mission to bring change to those that are disadvantaged. What is it that encourages these MIE volunteers? For me personally, this has been a life-changing experience and has helped me frame and orient my plans for the future. And next year, I plan to pursue a career in chemical engineering, which is fueled by my love for chemistry, math, engineering, and the various extracurricular activities that I've done in school. The MIE experience is helping me have a more different perspective in life and how I change my career as I move forward. As a chemical engineer, I would like to enable the development of more sustainable solutions to the many problems that we face in life today. And if possible, use it in those countries that are in dire need of it. I would also like to enable more twinkling eyes to those disadvantaged children that are offered more studying and learning opportunities. And also, I would like to emulate the 20 or so MIE volunteers and make a difference in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. That sounds like a very interesting experience. So we have lots of people that are traveling. Many of our speakers have traveled. So in this experience, I don't know if you mentioned it, I don't think you mentioned it, but actually you taught some of these students.
Yes, I actually taught some of these students how to write their ABCs, because, I mean, coming from America, you know your ABCs like 1, 2, like 1 plus 1, kind of. And
this is in English?
Yes, they wrote their ABCs in English, and it was, the only difficulty was that when they would get something right, I would need an interpreter to tell them that, I mean, wow, good job, you did this
thumbs
so
up.
well. Yeah, thumbs up, kind of. And
great. So it sounds like also when you're driving back home or back to the airport, you realize how many things you just took for granted. You really started to appreciate that. The thing what you talked about, the person who brought her younger sister to school. Could you imagine that happening at your high school?
I couldn't ever imagine that, because it's, I don't know, it would be such a distraction, and
the things, it just take it for granted that we have education.
I don't think we have that willpower to concentrate when we have someone we need to take care of.
So how do you think this will help you later on for your career?
I hope, I see this as like an eye-opening experience. Basically, I want to bring change to these people, and after seeing this, there's many other people around the world that are like this. So
I remember you were talking to us earlier, and you said that you didn't actually realize how many people were in need, because you frequently travel to India for travel or for family.
Yes.
But that you didn't actually realize how many people were in need, and possibly in places that you were visiting.
I actually come from a state where in Kerala, it has a 100% literacy rate, which means that, I mean, everyone's educated, and you rarely see beggars or poverty. And so when I went to Bombay, it was just like a real eye-opener.
Great, well, thank you.
Thank you.